Good morning. I'm just going to check and make sure that I am live and make sure I could also see the comments. Yay, I'm live. Okay, let me make sure I turn that volume down. Good morning. Hello. Today, I wanted to talk about what to do when a collection launch doesn't go well. Hi, Pippin. Yep, when you're here, say hello. I see a few people popping in, so good. That means that I'm live. Everything's rolling okay. Hi, Jillian. Good morning. So while we have more people hopping on, I did want to share like two very exciting things that I've been putting together, and I shared a little bit in the group yesterday. It was a snapshot and let me know if you could hear me okay as well. I've got my microphone all hooked up. So I shared a snapshot from my website. So the first thing, so I've been wanting to do more like one-on-one coaching things with all of you. Oh, my hair looks great. Thank you. I curled it today and I washed it. So I put together this 1 month, 4 week one-on-one coaching session where we work together throughout the month. We pick two of the goals that you want to work on so that we can build some momentum in your business. We can map out what you want to work on, how to get it done. So that is something that will be coming Monday. And I'm really excited about that, to be offering 5 spots for some one-on-one coaching sessions. And then the next one is a very small like audio training. Since I turned 35 May 29th, it'll actually be just like this $35 marketing training where it talks about strategy, getting your confidence. It's about getting your marketing mojo. So I'm really excited for that. So Monday, those will be available on my website, and I'll be sharing more about them. But I just wanted to share those because I'm really excited to be offering more programs, smaller price programs as well, so we can work together because I really enjoy that. So what to do when a collection launch doesn't go well? The reason I really wanted to talk about this topic is, first of all, I don't think a lot of people talk about it naturally. I mean, when we put together collections as artists, there's a lot of care and time and effort and heart that goes into these things. And then to put them out there into this world and crickets, and it's defeating, to be completely honest. So the first, most important thing I just want to start off by saying and always have you remember is that you're not alone. If you had a bad collection launch, you are not alone. There is not one artist out there that has not had a bad collection launch. So to find comfort in knowing that we're all in the same boat here, we have all gone through these experiences. So I know that you can feel like you want to start all over. You want to go back to the drawing board. And I actually have a lot of notes today, so I have a lot to cover. So bear with me as I roll through some of these. You could feel like you want to go back to the drawing board or start all over, or like it sets the tone in your business. And I'm going to share a story here personally in just a second. But yeah, just to know that you're never alone in this. Jillian, I see your comment. You saw what just happened to me. Yeah, so that's actually why I wanted to talk about this, because you're not the only one recently that has been going through this kind of situation. And it's very common. It sounds like at this point in time as well. So my story I wanted to share is February 2019. Now, I share that month a lot because it was Valentine's Day of that month that was my last day at work, 9 to 5. I was becoming a full-time artist, but a story that I have never shared before. This is actually the first time. It's like mentally I completely forgot about it. And then I was like, wait a minute. I had a collection launch February 9th. So a week before I was becoming a full-time artist and leaving my 9 to 5. And this collection I'd been working on for months. It was a new style. People were telling me that they loved it. It was something new and refreshing. And I put together a lot of time and care and effort and marketing. And I'm like, this is going to be great because I'm going to launch this collection. It's going to be great. I'm going to become a full-time artist right after this. So it'll be a nice transition. February 9th, I put it into the world and there was crickets. Crickets for 12 pieces maybe. And it's defeating. It is defeating. And especially as I was becoming a full time artist, it's like, is this how it's going to be? Like, is this a sign? I was trying to make it about something more like, here, I'm about to be a full time artist. I launched this collection. Like, is this a sign I made the wrong decision? So, all of those feelings, like, I completely get it for anyone out there that has maybe recently had a failed collection launch, had some in the past. Like, you're not alone. Just to reiterate, we have gone through this all together. So I understand, especially when your job is to make money. When you're a full-time artist, it's very frustrating when you have a failed launch, and money is part of this. You need to obviously earn a living from it. So my husband's calling, and that's very strange because give me 1 second because this may be like an emergency. I'm so sorry. Hello? Hey, I'm on my live right now. Is everything okay? Can he come by in an hour? Yeah. No. Okay, bye. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Our apartment, we have a leaky faucet, and my husband was calling because the maintenance person got a hold of them. So sorry about that. Um, so getting back to my notes. Okay, so this whole concept of yes, you're not alone. So I wanted to go through what to do when a collection launch doesn't go well because not to say I'm an expert at this, but it's happened a few times to me, of course. So the first thing after you have a launch and it doesn't go the way you want it is to feel your feelings. Hands down. Don't think that you need to just put on a face, that you just need to keep moving forward. As simple as that sounds, and as like, well, of course, yeah, feel my feelings, whatever. Really do give yourself that time to feel defeated, to feel upset, to hide under the covers, to cry, to just like for 24 hours, 48 hours, no more than 48 hours, just allow yourself to be upset. Because I feel like that is the most important thing that you need to do is to just like, okay, this didn't go the way I wanted it to. This stinks. Let me be disappointed here for a little bit. Why I mentioned the 24 hours, 48 hours, also do this with no distractions. This is another thing because as we're feeling defeated, as we're feeling bummed out, the last thing we need to do is hide under the covers and scroll through Instagram or scroll through social media and look at all these people's wins, all these wins that they're having and they're sharing about, because that's not going to help this process. So definitely take time to sit with that disappointment, honestly, to just sit with that and not be distracted by other things. The reason I say more than 48 hours is really just like as an entrepreneur, we can't stay there. We can't stay in this defeated place where we're upset and we're just constantly on ourselves. It's a process. So if you think about like a baseball player that strikes out at the plate, he doesn't go sit in the dugout and say, "Oh, I don't want to hit again. Like I'm frustrated. I struck out. I'm just going to sit here and not get back out and hit." No. As entrepreneurs, like we don't get that. We don't get the luxury of just like calling it quits unless you don't want to be an entrepreneur anymore. We have to go through this process and put ourselves back out there because we have a job to do. So number 2, and this is like, I think one of the most important things as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, is to do your best to take your emotion out of, it's like I have every distraction today. Now I have a fire truck going by right before my big important point. Do your best to take your emotion out of it and really look at possibly what went wrong from a very logical perspective. And again, this may sound easy, but a lot of times it's not just one thing. It's not just one simple thing that went wrong, and I also never look at things as I didn't do enough. Although that could be the case in some situations, but most of the time I don't think like something wasn't enough. It's more like I didn't do the right things in the right way. So you can look at, for example, like, did you promote it? How did you promote it? And where did you share it? Like, Those are some of the questions that I start asking myself. And I do have a collection launch process that I actually share in my program, the Art Business Evolution. And I have a process down. So if you don't have like a launch process when it comes to your collections, it's key to have that, so you know, okay, did I go through the steps I usually do? And if it failed, what's something that I could turn the dial up on? What is like one thing from this process that maybe didn't work? Maybe I just sent one email and I need to send two. Or, maybe I need to post a little bit more about it on social media or whatever. But to have that situation where unemotionally you ask yourself, what really do I think went wrong? Like what do you think could be the problem? I will know, like for me, and I will definitely share this when it came to my collection launches, the one thing that I sat and thought about, and I'm like, okay, where can I turn up the dial just like one notch? And when I think about artwork and I think about people investing in artwork, there's a connection. People have this connection to you. They have this connection to your artwork. So it was, what can I do to create a stronger connection between what I'm creating and my audience? And what I personally did, what has worked for me, is I've shared more videos. More like raw videos in my studio. If you're someone that you don't want to show up online, or chat with your audience or whatever, and that's not in your comfort zone, perfectly fine. You could still make your audience feel like they are in the studio with you as you're creating, and they could see a piece maybe from start to finish or different parts of it, but to where they feel like they're there with you. And that was something that really made a difference with my collection launches, because my audience, and I could see them still popping into my stories, still popping in and watching these videos of creating this collection, and they felt like they were there in the studio as I went through the process, like they were part of the process with me. If I have if a collection launch doesn't go the way that I want it to, that's like the first place I look is, did I share enough behind the scenes? Did I really bring them along with the process with me? So if you're someone that maybe just had a bad collection launch or it didn't go the way you wanted, to sit and look at logically what you maybe didn't do, what you could do better, what you could turn the dial up on, and that could be something that I am sharing, that may be something just to test out. One thing like I don't do, obviously, like I never think, okay, I didn't do enough. And maybe, yes, there are definitely cases where you could think, okay, maybe I didn't do enough, this. But I also don't like making excuses like it's my audience, they didn't want to invest, or my audience is too small. Because at the end of the day, that's not going to help anything. That's not going to change anything. And I'm always like, control what we can control. And to look at what we did wrong, not from like a self-defeating way in any way, but definitely like, what can we work on? What can we change? And what can we adjust? So that is like the number 2. And there's definitely something I wanted to share with that as well that I know will pop up. I feel like I put it further in my notes, but I will be coming back to that thought. I won't forget. So the third thing, after we have a collection launch and it's over, always remember that just because these paintings didn't sell on this given time on your launch date, that does not mean they're not going to sell. Your paintings, and I think we forget that a lot, because we have this momentum, we have this excitement and this energy, and then we hear crickets. And then it's this defeating thought almost of, well, nobody wants to buy this painting. And that is completely not true. So just to remind yourself that just because it didn't sell during this launch period, that wasn't the only window where people can invest in your artwork. So we forget sometimes that just because no one bought it during the launch that it's a wasted painting. Definitely, they're not wasted paintings. If anything, like looking at the bright side, you've already like started this momentum. You already have this like group of paintings that work together. And the goal now, in my opinion, is like twofold. One is, And of course, with step one, you've already done like the feel your feelings. You've already looked at what you think went wrong. And now it's like, okay, twofold. Next thing. As an entrepreneur, always looking ahead. Always looking ahead. And trying to think of what I wanted to say for that. So the two things, of course, looking ahead and always getting excited about the next collection, the next artwork that you're going to be working on. But don't just allow these paintings to sit in your studio and collect dust. The next part of the process and of being an entrepreneur is to create opportunities for yourself and realize you have these paintings that work together. They are part of a collection and they fit. Where can you get more eyes on them? So the two parts is, of course, looking, like continuously moving forward, like not getting stuck. As an entrepreneur, we don't want to get stuck in certain areas, but also don't forget about those paintings. Like, don't just let them sit and gather dust and forget about them. You get to now create opportunities in coffee shops, in boutiques, in stores. There are really a lot of opportunities, but when you get to that point of making that a goal on how do I get more eyes on this artwork? Where can I put them? That gets you in this creative mindset of creating those opportunities for yourself. A lot of times it may be hard to create opportunities where we're going to show our artwork because we don't have the paintings created yet. And maybe they are just kind of like random pieces here and there. But the fact that you have that group, it'll start opening your eyes when you go out places, now that we're able to go out places again. That is your next step. It's twofold. Looking ahead and figuring out how to get more eyes on those pieces. Because again, when you're looking at what could have went wrong or what is something that you can maybe tweak in your launch process, sometimes it's just like you didn't get enough eyes on the pieces. It's not that people don't like them or enjoy them or want to invest in them or you have a small audience. Sometimes it's just the right person didn't see it. I should have had a pen because I just thought about something else. So I'm going to go through the fourth thing. The fourth thing to keep in mind when you have this set of paintings is to keep promoting them on social media. Oh, this is the thought I had. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to throw this out here, and if I forget to touch on this subject, remind me, because I'm going to go deeper on this. In this, I don't want this to come out wrong, but as a marketer, as a marketing person, we're selling a product, remember the fact that people are selfish. And that's not a bad thing, but we are just humans. It's our nature to find the path of least resistance. We want things to be easy for us. So as you have this collection and you've created this momentum, keep in mind that people may want to invest in some of these paintings. Some people may have just forgotten that you had a collection launch. They may have not opened the email that you sent. They maybe not have been on social media for the past week or 2 weeks. So remind them, you built all of this momentum, and this goes on both sides of it. So as you're creating a collection, if you have a successful collection launch, keep that momentum going. Like when you launch a collection, don't just drop off the face of the earth. If you are selling paintings in a collection, like this wasn't part of the talk, I'm just kind of spitballing here. If you have released a collection and you're selling paintings, keep that momentum going. Keep sharing, in your stories, this painting sold. Keep sharing in your feed or in your social media, here's, this sold. And it's not annoying, it's momentum. And it's that you want people to keep in mind, oh yeah, they launched this collection. They have this collection launched. Completely forgot, didn't even look. I hope there's other artwork still available because they're just flying off the shelves. But also when you have a collection and it doesn't go the way you want it to, don't just fall off the face of the earth and assume that everybody saw all of your posts, all of your emails, and that they remember that you were launching new artwork. So keep that going. And I actually have like, I love action steps. So I actually have like some action step ideas. If you're kind of like, okay, now what do I do with this collection that I have? Um, the beautiful thing is like you have all this content now, technically. If you have these paintings, a couple things that you can do. Okay, so first of all, first and foremost, don't get wrapped up in like beautiful photos and beautiful pictures. And this is actually why I share in my launch strategy, behind the scenes and videos. Hi, Cindy. So great to talk to you again today. Um, don't get so caught up in the pretty photos. That is exactly why I share behind the scenes, because video always like showcases paintings, I feel like, so much more. And then I get to take the stress off creating these beautiful, obviously I try to create nice photos to put like on my website and my social media. But for example, if I want to, some ideas for photos, having me with my painting, I do notice from like an analytical perspective that those images do very well on my social media. Oh, good, Brenda. I'm glad you're finding this helpful. So if you are just posting like the painting in your studio all by itself or on an odd angle, think of ways that you can be with your artwork, like just you holding it. And again, it doesn't have to like showcase the artwork and all its beauty, but it's making this connection between you, the artist, and this artwork. And then someone, may want to invest in that. And then they have that in their mind of when you were holding this piece that they now own. So definitely take a photo of you holding them and share that online. So that's an idea that you can do with more social media content, because again, these paintings are not done. If you did not sell these paintings, they're not going in the trash can outside. They're going to sit in your studio, and now you've got all this free content that you can continue to create with them. It's a blessing in disguise, right? The next thing is a video and a reel. Again, video content, and I'm not like a social media strategist expert, I just know what works for me. And video content does really well. I don't take like beautiful videos. I don't have any like it's with my phone. But even just to take like a video of one painting, a video of another, splice them together, you can create a reel. Or just do like simple videos. Jillian, I know that you did a reel actually of your paintings that were at a coffee shop, and that reel did really good. No pun intended. But it's this idea that video does really well. So you have these paintings, definitely utilize them in a video content, because just seeing artwork in video, I feel like you could get a really good feel of what the piece looks like, and almost make your audience feel as though that they're there with the artwork, looking at it, checking it out. Next thing, take a few pictures of the painting. So if you're looking at I use Instagram mainly. It used to be Facebook, but now I'm mainly, I'm on Instagram. And I know that even just having a couple photos, which is on my website too, when I sell a painting, I have a straight on, and then I have it from like two different sides. Picks up on texture. Also, I don't get caught up in the algorithm rigmarole, because it's always going to change. So there's no reason, you just do you, and don't worry about the algorithm, because it's going to do its thing. But to have people looking at your page and your artwork and actually taking that extra time to like swipe through the photos, they say that that's good for the algorithm, but I do feel like that allows people to kind of sit with your artwork a little bit more and again, get it from different angles and see it close up. Another thing, and this is kind of the last part of that number 4, as you're posting these on social media, going back to that idea of, it's probably not the best turn of phrase, but like people are selfish, just more so make it easy for people to buy from you. This is actually going to be more part of Thursday's talk. But when you post a painting and you're sharing the image and all of that, let people know like the name of the painting, and then I always put maybe the size, and I always put available. You can absolutely put your pricing there if you want to do that, but I know when I used to share my artwork, I would never put the name. I'd never say if it's available. And people would have to take that extra step of sending me a message is this painting available? And the less steps that we can make people do, like if we could just like put all of the information in their lap in a nice fancy bow of this is the painting, this is the name, size, and it's available. That is such a great, easy way, if you're not already doing this, just to make sure that people know, yes, this is still available. I like this painting. Let me go learn more about it from their website. So at the end of the day, I'm looking at my notes. I feel like I did have one more. Oh, good. I did put it in my notes. At the end of the day, the four main things. I mean, I know I've kind of covered a lot. I went on a few tangents. But if you have a collection launch that didn't do well, didn't do as good as you wanted, or just completely bombed. I mean, no, first of all, you are not alone. It has happened to all of us, especially those that become full-time artists and like 2 weeks before making the transition, just crickets during a launch, which I've never shared that story before. So thanks for allowing me to do that. Feel your feelings. Take 2 days to just sit and be disappointed and be hurt and just allow that before moving forward. Second of all, really think about what went wrong from an unemotional perspective. Again, because a lot of times we can be emotional about, well, people don't like my artwork, I make bad artwork, and I didn't do enough, and I'll never do enough. Like, just unemotionally look at, okay, what is something that maybe I could turn the dial up on next time? Maybe what is something that I usually do or I didn't do, so I'm sure that could be what it was. But again, as entrepreneurs, like that's the beauty of running a business, is that always tweaking. We're always finding if something failed, if something went wrong, it's our job to find out what went wrong and not allow it to go over and over again. And I had a bad launch, had a bad launch, had a bad launch. Stop and evaluate. Don't do the insanity thing of doing the same thing over and over again. It's our job to look at what we think could have gone wrong and to tweak it. Tweak, turn the dial up, try something slightly different so you could actually gauge, okay, well, this seemed to work this time, so let me double down on that. I will say, like, my biggest breakthroughs have come from my biggest failures and my disappointments, because they've really forced me to look at what didn't work. Because I can't accept, like as a business owner, we just can't accept something not working and allowing it to continue to not work. It's an opportunity to, not the whole like failure is an opportunity, but if something fails, like as an entrepreneur, we don't get that luxury to just like keep doing it. Like we've got to tweak it. We've got to find what's wrong. And a lot of times we learn a lot when things don't work. So from that unemotional perspective, definitely think about, what went wrong. The next thing, really realize that these pieces can still sell, and not get that story in your mind, like just because nobody bought on Tuesday, February 9th, when you release this collection, it means these paintings are never going to sell. That's not the case. If anything, you get to create new opportunities for this artwork. You need to keep creating you need to keep promoting them. And that's really the fourth thing, is to not give up on those pieces and let them sit in your studio and gather dust and feel defeated this whole time. It's to continue moving forward. This is all a process. If you want to be a full-time artist or part-time artist, there's no wrong way. But if this is something you really want to do, is to be an entrepreneur, to sell your artwork. It is to constantly be not giving up, sitting in the dugout when you strike out and saying, I don't want to hit the ball again. It's really just to continue moving forward. Because I'm like jumping around on my notes because I'm completely like feeling all of this. Brenda, I released a collection of 15 paintings at the end of the March and haven't sold one yet. They're at various price points and sizes too. I'm thinking they may need to increase my ads on Etsy. Yeah, so that could be one area to turn the dial up. And that would be, I think that what you were saying is perfect. Try that one thing. See if that works. If it doesn't, okay, what else? What else can work? Where else can you get more eyes on that? Yeah, if we have those, I say if, but it's more like when we have those failed collection launches, really ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? What mistakes will I never make again? What logical things, you know, did I do wrong here? And not again from a self-defeating, way, but just more of like what is something that maybe went wrong? When you do that, you will be in a much better place down the road versus the sulking and the staying in that defeated attitude. I definitely get it. I definitely understand, but we just can't stay there. Because I think, and I know I kind of mentioned this already, but I really do think that the biggest harm as a business owner is to not evaluate what went wrong and just keep doing that same thing over and over again. I think that that is one of the most harmful things that we can do as a business owner is to not look at things and tweak and turn up the dial and see what new thing can maybe we throw into the process, throw into the mix, and see what that does. So, again, like I'm encouraging you to not go back to the drawing board and starting all over, but instead realizing that you built all of that momentum up to the point of that collection launch. Don't let that momentum die. Don't let those paintings gather dust. Definitely keep moving forward, and also get excited about the next thing that you're going to be creating. Get excited about the next thing. Keep that momentum moving forward. So that is what I have for my talk. Let me see, Brenda. Is it helpful to submit pieces to exhibitions? I've done a couple so far and was thinking of submitting my new collection for more exhibits so people can see them in person. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, as someone, which actually is going to be like a next week talk that I have planned, as you go along in your business, yes, I mean, things will change. Some things will feel good. You'll do them for a while. Some things will want to change. You're welcome, Jillian. You're welcome, Pippin. Oh, Pippin, you said yes. Um, Putting things in exhibition, again, I mean, like you said it specifically, is so more people can see them in person. Yeah, that is not, there's nothing bad about that. This is all pros. You get to, so submitting things for exhibitions, you get into that exhibition, eyes are on it. You're building your resume, the value of your artwork, because then you are submitted into this exhibition. Um, yeah, I mean, there's definitely like no wrongs here. So absolutely a helpful thing for exhibitions, 100%. Okay, well, if anyone has any questions or no more questions, I am going ahead and I will chat with you Thursday. So everyone have a good day. Thanks for being here. All right, bye.